A vast array of God's children make up this country. In our own flawed past, people were taken by force from their native land, traversing treacherous seas against their will, under deplorable, dangerous, deadly conditions. And if they survived this passage, life would be filled with cruelty, abuse, and violence, as they were stripped of family, culture, and identity, enduring treatment designed to destroy their dignity and their humanity. The residual effects of slavery are still in our midst. People came from Europe and other places by their own choice, seeking a better life, sometimes as indentured servants or low-pay workers, often caught forever in an inescapable cycle of poverty. Similar things still occur. Other people who had been here for a very long time had not only their land and property taken from them, but in the name of Christianity, they lost their children as well, as children were taken from parents and communities at an early age to be socialized in mission schools. Mission schools where children lost their names, their clothing, their language, their culture, their identity. Restitution is still lacking. Half the population, because they were female, could not vote until 1920. And then if your skin was too dark or your ancestry not acceptable, you still could not vote, whether female or male. Meanwhile, bondage still exists in many forms, with human trafficking very real in our world and abuse and violence surrounding us. The God of justice, with a breaking heart, looks on the injustices of our past, of our present, of our everyday lives, and God is not pleased. God's words continue to ring out through prophets in our midst. I despise and reject your feast. I am not appeased by your solemn assemblies. Spare me the racket of your chanting. Relieve me of the strumming of your harps. I don't really care about all the things you do trying to prove your goodness. Instead, let justice roll down like waters and righteousness like an ever-flowing stream. You know what I require of you. Do justice, love kindness, walk humbly with your God. That doing justice part can be especially scary. It can be painful to honestly look at the past. It can be difficult to muster the courage to stand alone against injustice. And maybe just as difficult to stand together with unfamiliar others whom we did not expect to have as companions. Not the people we would have readily chosen, but sometimes those quite different from ourselves, people whom we don't always understand. We can be challenged in ways we never could have imagined as we venture into the complexities of understanding injustice. Working for justice in the places where we live requires us to grapple with the interconnectedness of race and gender and socioeconomic class, of diversity and similarities as well as differences. Trying to find the right path, hoping our faith will help us, but knowing that religion has not always been the path to justice. Confronting injustice in our time can be alienating and lonely, and so confusing and downright frightening that temptation to give up is strong and ever present. When you walk into Groves High School, you see the rules of the school, the first posted on the walls, and the first house rule, as they call them, that you will see posted on the school wall is this: do not stand silent if you see or hear an injustice. No matter how old or young you are, no matter how dark or light or medium colored your skin may be, no matter your faith, tradition, or lack thereof, no matter your sexual identity or orientation, no matter what your education or your income may be, if there is an injustice against anyone, do not stand silent. It also doesn't matter how frightened you may be. We are required to do justice, and our just God will see us through.
You shall cross the barren desert, but you shall not die of thirst. You shall wander far in safety, though you do not know the way. You shall speak your words in foreign lands, and all will understand. You shall see the face of God and live. Be not afraid. I go before you always. Come, follow me, and I will give you rest. If you've passed through raging waters, in the sea you shall not drown. If you walk amid the burning flames, you shall not be harmed. If you stand before the power of hell, and death is at your side, know that I am with you through it all. Be not afraid. I go before you always. Come, follow me, and I will give you rest. Blessed are your poor, for the kingdom shall be theirs. Blessed are you who weep and mourn, for one day you shall laugh. And if wicked ones insult and hate you all because of me, blessed, blessed are you. Be not afraid. I go before you always. Come, follow me, and I will give you rest.